Welcome back. You've tuned in for another deep dive. And today we're heading to the California coast, La Jolla specifically.
That's right. A really unique spot.
Definitely. We've got our hands on the La Jolla Real Estate Market Update 2025 March. It's from Don Lewis and the Lewis team.
Yeah, they put out some good data.
So you picture La Jolla, stunning beaches, incredible homes, that whole vibe. It really is that classic California dream, isn't it?
It absolutely is. Known for luxury, the scenery. It's got a distinct feel.
Right. So our mission today is basically to unpack this report, pull out the key bits, give everyone listening a quick, clear picture of what's actually going on in that market right now.
Sounds good. It's a high-end market, so seeing what's driving it, that's always interesting. This report gives us a good snapshot, February 2025 data.
Okay, so the report starts off talking about, let me see, significant momentum and positive growth for single-family homes there. Sounds pretty upbeat.
It does, and the numbers seem to back that up. Let's start with homes sold.
Okay, how many?
In February, they saw 24 single-family homes sell in La Jolla.
24. How did that stack up?
Well, compared to January, where only 17 sold, that's a 41% jump. Pretty significant.
Wow, 41% in a month.
And even compared to the same time last year, February 2024, they sold 23 homes then. So it's up slightly year over year, too.
So more activity, definitely.
Yeah.
Sales volume is trending up.
Exactly. A positive sign for market energy.
All right, let's get to the number everyone always looks at, especially in a place like La Jolla.
Yeah.
The price. What's the median sales price doing?
Brace yourself. The median price in February hit $4.24 million.
$4.04 million. Okay.
Yeah. And what's really striking is the change from the month before. In January, the median was $2.9 million.
From 2.9 to 4.24 in 1 month.
That's right. A 46% increase month over month.
That's dramatic. What about compared to last year?
Also up significantly, February 2024's median was $3.3 million. So yeah, big jumps whether you look month to month or year over year.
A 46% monthly leap is huge. What could be driving that? Is it just crazy demand or?
It's likely a combination of factors. Strong demand chasing limited inventory is almost certainly part of it in La Jolla.
Right.
But a jump that big might also reflect the specific mix of homes sold. If February saw a higher proportion of, say, ultra-luxury beachfront estates closing compared to January.
Ah, okay. That could skew the median upwards quite a bit.
Exactly. Without seeing the individual sales, it's hard to say for sure, but it definitely points towards a very, very hot market right now. Lots of buyer interest, potentially competitive situations.
Makes sense. Okay, another key metric in these reports is usually median days on market, DOM. Basically, how fast are homes selling?
And this one's really telling, too. In February, the median time a home was on the market before selling was just 13 days.
13? Wow. How does that compare?
Well, compare that to January. It was 50 days.
50, down to 13.
Yep, a massive drop. It tells us homes are getting snapped up much, much quicker.
So list it, and it's basically gone in 2 weeks, on average. That really supports the high demand idea.
Absolutely. Buyers aren't waiting around. They seem ready to pounce when the right property hits the market.
Okay, let's look at another angle. Yeah. Price per square foot. The report says the average in February was $1,539 per square foot.
Correct. $1,539.
But it also notes this is slightly down from last year's $1,631. How do we square that with the huge jump in median price?
That's a good question, and it's an important nuance. A slight dip year over year in price per square foot, even while the overall median price surges. It could mean a couple of things.
Like what?
Maybe the homes sold in February were, on average, larger than those sold the previous February. Larger homes sometimes have a slightly lower price per square foot, even if their total price is very high.
Okay, that could make sense.
Or it could just be a minor fluctuation in that specific metric. Market data can have these little eddies even when the main current is strong. The key thing is, even at $1,539 a square foot.
It's still incredibly high-end real estate.
Exactly. We're deep in luxury territory here.
Right. A dip there is relative, isn't it? Okay, what about how much sellers are actually getting compared to their asking price? List price received.
Another strong indicator for sellers, in February, the average was 100%.
100%.
Yeah.
So sellers got their full asking price on average.
That's right, which is up from 95% in January.
Ah, so buyers had a little more negotiating room in January, it seems.
Apparently so. Getting 100% consistently suggests buyers know they need to make strong offers, likely facing competition. It fits with the low days on market and the rising prices.
Yeah, it paints a pretty clear picture of a seller's market. Okay, now this report does something really useful. It breaks the market down into price segments. quartiles, they call it.
Yes, dividing all the sales into 4 equal groups based on price from lowest to highest. It gives a much more granular view.
So let's walk through those numbers. What did the top 25% of the most expensive homes look like?
Okay, the top quartile, the median price was $8,385,610.
Wow. 8.3 million median for the top quarter. And how fast did they sell?
This is amazing. Median days on market for that top quartile was just 2 days.
Two, like listed Monday, pending by Wednesday.
Pretty much. And the average price per square foot in that segment was $1,876.
Incredible speed. Okay, what about the next quartile down, the second one?
Second quartile, median price of $4,587,500. So still very high end. The DOM here jumps up to 23 days.
23 days. Still fast, but a big difference from two.
Definitely. And the average price per square foot was $1,267.
Okay. Third quartile.
Third quartile median price, $3,564,565. Median DOM was 19 days, a bit faster than the second quartile, interestingly.
19 days, okay. Price per square foot.
$1,366 for the third quartile.
And finally, the bottom quartile. I mean, bottom in La Jolla is
A
still
little pretty substantial, yeah. The median price for the bottom 25% of sales was $2,470,000.
2.47 million. And the DOM?
8 days?
8. Okay, so faster than the middle two quartiles, but slower than the very top.
Exactly. And the price per square foot there was $1,094.
What really stands out there is that massive difference in speed between the absolute top end 2 days and even the bottom end at 8 days.
It really does. It highlights just how intense the demand seems to be for those truly premier ultra-luxury properties. If something exceptional comes up and it's priced right,
It's gone. Almost instantly.
seems like it. The slightly longer, though still quick, times in the other segments might suggest, maybe a little more buyer deliberation or perhaps a tiny bit more room for negotiation, but overall,
The whole market's moving briskly.
very much so across all these price points.
It really paints a vivid picture. Now, the report also touches briefly on the life in La Jolla aspect, why people want to live there.
Which is crucial context, always.
Right. They mention the beaches, La Jolla Cove, Windansea, La Jolla Shores, the upscale village for dining and shopping.
Torrey Pines for golf, the coastal trails.
Yeah, outdoor stuff. And even culture, like the Playhouse and the Museum of Contemporary Art. How much does that lifestyle stuff really feed into these market numbers?
Oh, it's fundamental. Absolutely huge. People aren't just buying square footage in La Jolla, they're buying access to that lifestyle.
Right, the whole package.
Exactly. The ocean views, the convenience of high-end amenities, the beautiful natural surroundings, that sort of relaxed yet sophisticated coastal vibe. All of that creates the desirability,
And desirability drives demand.
which in turn supports the premium prices. It's why people are willing to pay what they pay to own property there. You're investing in a whole way of life, not just a house.
It's that sort of aspirational element, isn't it? That vision of living that specific coastal life. Powerful stuff.
Definitely a big magnet for buyers.
And as we noted, this data comes from Don Lewis and the Lewis team. They mentioned their experience 35 plus years, thousands of homes sold in the wider San Diego area. Does knowing the source add weight to this?
I think it does add important context. Having a team with that much deep local experience interpreting the data, it's valuable.
They're not just crunching numbers from afar.
Exactly. They're likely seeing these trends play out on the ground day in and day out. Their perspective, grounded in decades of navigating this specific market, gives their analysis credibility. So when they talk about significant momentum, it's coming from a place of, long-term understanding.
Right. They've seen the cycles before, presumably. They have that front row seat. Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. As we finish this deep dive on the La Jolla report, what are the absolute key takeaways for listeners?
I'd say number one, the single-family market in La Jolla as of February 2025 was clearly showing strong positive signs. Momentum. Growth.
Okay, strong momentum. What else?
Number two, this was backed by specifics, more homes selling, a really significant jump in the median price, and homes selling very, very quickly, low days on market.
So increased sales, much higher prices, faster deals.
Pretty much sums it up. It points to really robust buyer demand and a competitive environment for sure.
And that fascinating split in how fast things sell, with the super high-end properties moving almost instantly.
Yeah, that difference between the quartiles, especially the top one moving in just 2 days, really highlights where the most intense heat is in the market right now. The demand for those top-tier La Jolla properties seems exceptionally strong.
It really underscores that enduring appeal at the very peak of the market there.
Absolutely.
So considering these, pretty rapid market changes we've discussed and layering on that unique, desirable lifestyle La Jolla offers,
Mm.
it makes you wonder, doesn't it? What might these current trends suggest about maybe the long-term value and the enduring allure of this particular coastal enclave? Something to think about, how those market forces and that lifestyle appeal keep interacting.